Today I'm talking about 5 things I've learned as a business improvement professional. Make sure you stick around. Hi, my name is Chad, and I am a Fortune 500 business improvement professional. I've been working in a Fortune 500 environment for over a decade now, and before that, I was working in automotive, Japanese automotive, so basically transitioned from Japanese automotive to aerospace, now working more in a corporate environment, doing transactional type business improvement processes. But nevertheless, I have been in this environment for quite some time, and I've been in the improvement environment for over 20 years. So if you like content around this type of information, then make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I do appreciate the support that I'm getting from all of you. I have hit over 1,000 subscribers, and I am on my way to 4,000 watch hours, which, as you may know, it is the number that you need to get monetized. I'm not doing this this YouTube channel to get monetized, although it would be nice to earn a little bit of extra money. I think more along the lines of I just want to provide value to you all, give you support, and just share things that I think are important within this this line of work. And the first thing I want to talk about is it takes practice and experience. And what I mean by that is it's sort of twofold here, or two sides of the coin, if I can use that analogy. You know, on one side of the coin, it's you, right? You may be the person going out getting some type of certification, and then you know you may feel like that you can, once you get that certification, you can come out of that and you'll know and be able to do some of the things that you've seen more professionals or more experienced professionals do in this line of work. The other side of the coin is that you might have a boss or a director or VP that's pushing you to get this certification, like a Lean or Six Sigma certification. And so you go out and get that certification, and then you come out of that, and then the next day you come to work, that Monday, you know, everybody's like, did you pass your exam? Oh, I passed my exam. And then they're like, great, I need you to run a Kaizen event, or I need you to do this problem solving root cause analysis, or I need you to do something that would fall within the body of knowledge of a Lean and Six Sigma professional, business improvement professional, whatever you want to call it. And the truth of the matter is you won't be able to do that, right? Not day one out of training. And I equate this to like getting your degree, right? If you were to get like a bachelor's degree in something, when you finish school, you can't go out the next day and be, you know, do the things in that environment that somebody that's been doing it, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20 years is able to do, right? You wouldn't be able to do it to that level. And it's the same thing with the certification. Certifications are important, I think, and I'll go into that in another video on how it forces you to study certain content. But what I really think is that it's important to get so that people take you serious, so that you are forced to learn a lot of information in a short period of time. But then it's what you do after that that's important. So I think it takes experience and practice to really build up and get to the level that you may have seen someone else doing or performing. And, you know, and I'll give you an example, like running a Kaizen event. I did a video on how to run a Kaizen event and all the pre-work leading up to the Kaizen event, and I'll pop a video out around here or a card or something. When you are running a Kaizen event, it's not that easy, right? You might have a few tools in your toolbox and a few concepts that you've learned while you've been studying, and maybe you've got a few years under your belt. But when you launch a Kaizen event, there's other things that are involved, like the importance of letting a conversation, a dialogue between two individuals that maybe haven't been in the room talking about this problem for a while and it's getting a little heated. I would say passion. They're both passionate about, especially when you're dealing with like VP level or director level or some, you know, high-ranking people in that room, in that meeting. It's important to know when to let that conversation continue to go on and when to stop that conversation, and because, you know, it's not progressing, and to bring them back all together as a group and move on. That's the experience I'm talking about that you gain through practice. So it takes practice and experience. Just make sure that you don't put too much pressure on yourself in understanding that, you know, you're not going to know everything day one out of certification, and then also make sure you manage your boss's expectations and the fact that, look, yeah, I have my certification. Doesn't mean I can go solve all the problems. It just means I have my certification, but I'm willing to learn more. And the second thing I've learned as a business improvement professional is having a coach or mentor is invaluable. And this is something I wish I'd have realized early on in my career. It's been 12, 15 years ago now. I was working for a Japanese company, and I had some really good Japanese coaches at the time, and they were coaching me, although I didn't know they were coaching me. And it's really a unique thing when you're being coached. If you don't know it, it can be quite frustrating because they're asking you questions, and very calm, they're asking you questions in a way that will make you go out and search for the solution. The problem is that when you go out and search for the solution, you're gonna go, you know, let's say it took 3 steps, A, B, and C to get to the solution. Well, you're not gonna go A, B, and C, right? You might go A, Z, Q, L, B, R, T, and then finally C to get to the solution, when you know that the person that's coaching you probably could do it faster. Now, on the receiving end of that, being coached, you're very frustrated. I just didn't see what was happening. The other thing is that when you're the one coaching, it can also be equally as frustrating, maybe even more frustrating, because now that I'm in a position where I'm coaching, or I have been coaching for a while, you are going to coach someone else, and that person is going to be frustrated, and you're going to know they're frustrated, because that can make you frustrated because you want to help them. And then you can give them A, B, and C, and it'll be over with like that, and you can move forward. Problem is, I don't know if it's a problem, but it's certainly a challenge. The challenge is that when you're coaching someone, you don't want to do that, right? You don't want to have them go A, B, and C. You don't want to tell them the answer. You want them to go out. You want to ask the right questions, so they're forced to go out and find those solutions on their own. And you know they're going to go from A, Q, R, L, T, Z, or whatever before they get to B and C. But you can't do that. It's like, like a kid, really. And that's the way you have to think about it. Like my kids, I have 3 kids, and there are certain things I need them to learn, right? And I can't just do it for them. I have to let them go through the trial and error of figuring it out. And it's frustrating for them. It's frustrating for me because I want to be able to do it for them, but I know they're not going to learn if I do it for them. It's the same thing with coaching. You can't do the work for them, but you can ask the right questions. You can give them support when needed. It's like you have to be able to recognize when they're not making progress, and be able to ask additional questions or point them in the right direction so that they can mitigate some of that frustration, but still learn in the process of getting the solution. So just recognize that having a coach or mentor or someone that can ask you the right questions is it's invaluable, really. And it's something you should seek out, in my opinion, but make sure you seek it from someone that knows how to coach. That's also very important. My Japanese counterparts were masters at it, never seemed to get frustrated, very calm, but also very good at what they did. Number three thing I've learned is don't do it for the money. Now, what I mean by this is, listen, I know we all work for money, right? We're not gonna do this thing for free, we want money. But what I mean is, don't go out and get a certification, or don't get all googly-eyed because you saw on LinkedIn or somewhere some job posting that was paying $100,000 a year or more for a green belt, black belt, or master black belt. Now, it's true that a green belt probably earns around 70 to 80,000 on average. I think it used to be that anyway. I think it's around the same thing. And then black belt can go up from 90,000 to 120, 130, and then master black belt between 100,000 and 200,000. Depends on what company you work for, how good you are, and how long you've been doing it, how much experience you have. Now, I remember hearing about how much black belts made years ago when we had a guy in our company go out, get his black belt, and within 6 months he was gone, working for another company, making a lot more money. Here's the thing with getting these certifications, okay? That individual that got the certification had been doing and left and made more money. He had been doing this kind of thing for a long time. Then he went and got the certification, and he was able to provide value. And I think that's the important thing to remember, is that you have to be able to provide value for your company. So if you go out and get a certification, let's say you get a black belt certification from ASQ, right? And maybe you have a couple of years experience, you studied really hard, you pass the exam, and then you go out and get another job, and you put this black belt on your resume. Well, putting the black belt on your resume might get you in the door, but if you're not able to provide value, then it's gonna be really easy for them to pick that out and say, well, listen, you said you had this black belt, you have some years of experience. You don't wanna sell the company on the certification. You want the certification to support the value you bring to the company, right? That's just a support mechanism for you to get the job, because now you can perform. So, they're not gonna pay you $130,000 a year if you're not bringing 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times that value, right? So you want to make sure you're going in with the knowledge, experience, and ability to actually bring value to the company. So that's very important when you're thinking about this as maybe just a money thing. Like, I want to earn more money, and this, I can get a black belt or a green belt, and I can earn $80,000 a year, $130,000 a year. Yeah, it might happen. It might not happen, but it might happen. And then what you got to recognize is you got to bring that value, and that comes through number one we talked about, which is experience and practice. And I'm not saying don't do it. Certifications are important. I'm just saying don't do it just for the money. Don't go out and get the certification, do all that just for the money, because there's another part of this puzzle that we don't talk about a lot, and that's liking what you do, like loving your job and having passion about what you do. And if you don't have passion for this kind of thing, and sometimes that comes through the experience, right? It's not always passion on day one. When I was getting coached, I hated it, right? I didn't like it. But as I grew, and then people started coming to me to ask me questions about problem solving, or asking me questions about something in the realm of lean or improvement or Six Sigma, then I started, oh, okay, this is kind of cool, and people are depending on me. And then I sort of grew into a passion for it. So, don't negate it because you don't have the passion right away. But also, if it's not something you can see yourself doing for a very long time, then don't do it, right? Because it's not going to make you happy. And number 4 is coach and mentor others. And this, I know we talked about coaching and mentoring already, but this is more on the realm of you've already gained the experience and knowledge. You've got maybe a decade of experience into this or more, and you want to help others. And so that's why I did this YouTube channel. Like I mentioned before, I don't really get paid on this YouTube channel. So me doing these videos is sort of my way of trying to mentor and help coach others. I know it's sort of one-sided, but I've had people reach out to me for coaching, and that's great, and I'll definitely help. But I think it's important for you to help coach others as well, and you can build another stream of income doing that. And certainly I've done that in the past, where you can have others pay you because you have experience in a certain field or topic, and you can start consulting or coaching and mentoring companies, people that work for companies, or individuals that just want to learn more about this incredible career. So I think it's important that you learn the coaching and mentoring side when you're being coached and mentored, so that you can take that and transition over one day and help bring someone else up that might be interested in this field. And the fifth and final thing I'll talk about here is study continuously. And I'm going to give you an example, so make sure you stick around for this. I think it's important. Study continuously. Be open to learning. Read books. I have a bunch of books behind me that are on Lean and Six Sigma, that are on improvement, that are on other topics too. I mean, even down to psychology, so you can understand psychology in meetings and learn how to. I have a book on spin selling. Whether you know it or not, selling in the environment of improvement is important. Selling people on your ideas, selling people on what they need to do because you know the best way to do it. Sometimes that's really difficult. Like, you might know what they need to do, but it's difficult for you to convey that message. So I read a book on spin selling, on how to sell people on what I think is the right way to do something. Now, but you also have to remain very open-minded, right? And be willing to learn new things. And I think that's extremely important. Example I'm going to give you is, I was working for an aerospace company, and I was brought in to do a big project for value stream mapping. And now, if you had told me the value stream mapping doesn't work in all situations, I would have, I wouldn't believe you. I mean, you can always use a value stream map, but in this scenario, it didn't work. You can go look up finite capacity scheduling if you'd like and check it out, but it is definitely something you would use in lieu of a value stream map. And it gives you the value that I was looking for, where you can start looking at operations and start breaking it down on where you're having the most waste within your lead time. So now that company is still using finite capacity scheduling. And I went through a big process of learning this. Again, just trying to remain open-minded. Went in, value stream maps are going to work. After about 3 weeks of me just shifting things around, granted, I'm very experienced at value stream maps, so it shouldn't have taken me 3 weeks, right? I'm like, this is baffling. I don't understand why I can't get this thing to work. Figured it out, reached out on LinkedIn, Googled, and finally got a couple of people from universities to respond to me, and they helped me out and gave me the one phrase that I needed: finite capacity scheduling. So the point I'm making here is just remain open-minded. Remember that not all tools or concepts work in all situations, and you have to remain fluid. You have to remain agile to shift and change gears if you need to, and not be so married to one thing. I think that's very important as you grow, not just within the business improvement field, but within your career. You need to remain competitive, so that means you have to be continuously learning new concepts and ideas. And listen, that's it for this video. Thanks guys for watching. I appreciate you sticking around. If you like this kind of content, again, make sure you click that subscribe button below, and if you like this video, throw me one of those thumbs up. I would much appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one.